Hi, this is Daniel Hutchins, and we are going to be doing part 2 of MCU actors considered to replace the roles. And so we are going to be talking about MCU 5 actors considered to play Iron Man and 5 for Captain America. So if you haven't checked out my other video yesterday, I did another video yesterday that had included actors who were considered to play Black Widow, Hawkeye, Thor, and Hulk. So now we are talking about Iron Man and Captain America today. So without further ado, here we go. With Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. out, the MCU needs new actors for Captain America and Iron Man. But the real question is, which actors can fill their roles? And this was an old article from October the 4th of 2020. Okay, one of the most consistently praised elements of the Marvel Cinematic Universe is its casting. Sarah Finn has chosen the perfect actor to play each of the roles in MCU. This started with casting the two stars of the Infinity Saga, Tony Stark and Steve Rogers, for their Phase 1 introductions ahead of 2012 The Avengers. Related to this article, MCU 5 reasons Iron Man is the star of the Infinity Saga, and 5 why it's Captain America. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about something else. So now we have more news. Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans turned out to be ideal choices for these roles, embodying their characters beautifully and sharing tangible on-screen chemistry as superheroes with conflicting ideologies but the same moxie. However, they weren't the producer's first choice for each part. Coming up at number 10, Iron Man, Sam Rockwell. One of the names on the casting shortlist for Tony Stark was Sam Rockwell, who would eventually go on to play Justin Hammer, a wannabe Stark with malicious intent in Iron Man 2. If Rockwell had played Tony, then we might have missed out on his terrific performances in movies like 7 Psychopaths, Vice, and 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. Okay, coming up at number 9, Captain America, Sebastian Stan. Before Chris Evans was cast to play Steve Rogers, Sebastian Stan screen tested for the role, alongside such actors as Ryan Phillippe and Kellen Lutz. Although he didn't clinch the role of Rogers, Stan was cast as his best friend Bucky Barnes, a role that ended up lasting even longer in the MCU than Cap. Okay, coming up at number 8, Iron Man, Hugh Jackman. The role of Tony Stark was initially offered to Hugh Jackman, but he turned it down because the scheduling of a whole new superhero franchise would have clashed with his commitments to the X-Men movies. Plus, if he was playing 2 flagship franchise superheroes at once, Jackman probably wouldn't have had time to do smaller standalone projects like Prisoners and Eddie the Eagle. Coming up at number 7, Captain America, Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt screen tested for the role of Steve Rogers a few years before. He would be cast as Peter Quill in James Gunn's Guardians of the Galaxy. Related to this article, the MCU's 5 most disappointing and 5 most satisfying moments. But we're not talking about that, we're talking about something else. So now we have more news. Playing Quill would lead to Pratt landing a bunch of action-oriented roles in movies like Jurassic World, Magnificent 7 remake, but the actor auditioned for a ton of action blockbusters before getting cast in one, including Avatar, Star Trek, G.I. Joe, and Superman Returns. Okay, coming up at number 6, Iron Man, Nicolas Cage. The producers of Iron Man considered Nicolas Cage for the title role. Cage had previously played Marvel hero Johnny Blaze in a Ghost Rider movie and later appeared in the sequel Spirit of Vengeance. Cage is a lifelong comic book fan, and at one point the actor was in possession of a near-mint condition copy of Action Comics #1, the first appearance of Superman, which cost him a whopping $2.1 million. He was also in line to play Superman in a Tim Burton movie that got scrapped. Coming up at number 5, Captain America's Scott Eastwood. Scott Eastwood, the son of Clint Eastwood, was one of the actors that Marvel screen tested for the role of Captain America in the MCU. While the younger Eastwood has been consistently getting work in blockbusters like The Fate and the Furious and Suicide Squad, he's been struggling to make it as big as his dad. Playing Steve Rogers certainly would have changed that. Coming up at number 4, Iron Man, Leonardo DiCaprio. When Iron Man was first in development, the producers considered Leonardo DiCaprio for the role of Tony Stark. This could have been pretty great. DiCaprio could have played Stark as a superpowered Jordan Belfort. Related to this article, MCU 5 times Tony Stark and Steve Rogers were best friends, and 5 times they were at each other's worst enemy. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about something else. So, alas, it wasn't meant to be. DiCaprio is one of those rare movie stars working today who's managed to maintain his profile without getting involved in any franchise. And now, coming up by number 3, Captain America, Channing Tatum. Early in development of Captain America First Avenger, Channing Tatum was considered for a titular role. If he landed the part, then he might not have been able to make 21 Jump Street for its 2012 release date. Tatum has yet to play a superhero on the big screen, but he has been cast to play Gambit in an X-Men spin-off that's been stuck in Marvel development hell for years. Coming up at number 2, Iron Man, Tom Cruise. Apparently, reports on how close Tom Cruise came to playing Tony Stark have been exaggerated. He's rumored to have been next to Robert Downey Jr. on the short list. There's even a deep fake video out there that adds Cruise into all of Stark's most iconic moments from the MCU. Cruise was under consideration for an earlier version of the project before it was attached to the MCU. By the time Paramount secured the rights, however, Cruise had moved on to other franchises. And coming up at number 1 for Captain America, John Krasinski. Marvel's first choice for the role of Cap was John Krasinski, who was then still starring as Jim Halpert in NBC's The Office. The actor even screen tested in the costume. However, after seeing the Hulk and physique of Chris Hemsworth, Krasinski decided he would be the right choice to play Steve Rogers. Currently, Krasinski has made a name for himself as a horror filmmaker with A Quiet Place, and he's a popular fan casting for the role of Reed Richards in MCU's upcoming Fantastic Four reboot. So there you go, guys. That's just a little bit of information I want to share. So if you guys like this content, make sure you hit a thumbs up and make sure you hit the subscribe button, and you guys have a nice day. Bye.